Right now, somewhere in the world, a woman is showing a man how she feels about him. Not with words, not with a text message, but with 4 specific body parts that she repeatedly exposes as soon as attraction sets in. And that's what's so frightening about it. 93% of men have no idea what they're seeing. They forget everything every time, and by the time they realize it, she's already dead. But not you, not after this video. Here's something that will change your perspective on every future interaction with women. A study published in the journal Evolution and Human Work found that women primarily communicate romantic interest non-verbally, and they do so an average of 13 times before men even notice. 13 times. She's practically screaming at you in a language your brain can't yet read. And I want to be honest, because I'm a woman and I've done everything I'm about to describe in this video myself. Most of us have done it. The difference is that we don't always realize it. That's precisely what makes it so effective. These are not calculated movements. These are not reaction tricks. These are involuntary biological reactions that occur when a woman's body decides she wants someone, even before her brain has made a decision. Now I'm going to show you 4 body parts that women instinctively display, emphasize, or draw your attention to when they're interested. And I've saved the most shocking one for last. Once I've explained it, you'll never see it again. This will change every conversation you have. So stay tuned, because what I'm about to reveal is the closest thing to reading hearts that actually exists in the real world. But first, you need to understand something crucial. The human body is extremely bad at keeping secrets. Dr. Albert Mehrabian's famous communication studies showed that only 7% of emotional communication occurs through words, 38% is due to tone of voice, and 55% is pure body language. This means that more than half of what she's telling you has nothing to do with what she's actually saying. She could talk about the weather, work, or her dog's new shirt. It doesn't matter. Her body is on a completely different program, and if you know where to look, you'll catch the signal every time. Let's start with the first one. And honestly, this signal alone is worth the whole video. The neck. And I don't just mean that she happens to have a neck that's visible. I'm talking about a very specific behavior. When a woman tilts her head to the side, touches her neck, or tosses her hair to the side, thus exposing her neck. This is one of the oldest and strongest signs of female attraction. That's why it's so significant. The neck is one of the most sensitive parts of the human body. The carotid artery, jugular vein, and trachea all run through it. Essentially, everything necessary for survival passes through this dark section. From an evolutionary perspective, exposing the neck is a sign of trust. The body is signaling, I feel safe with you. I don't see you as a threat. I would like to ask you to come closer. Dr. David Givens, an anthropologist at the Center for Nonverbal Studies, has documented this extensively. He calls it submissive development, not in the sense of weakness, but in the biological sense of openness and receptivity. When a woman slowly tilts her head, revealing one side of her neck, her body performs a gesture that heralds a language spoken for hundreds of thousands of years. And that is precisely what makes it so fascinating. The throat is also full of pheromone-releasing glands. So, when a woman touches her throat near you, she unconsciously activates these glands and transfers her scent in your direction. Her body is literally trying to become more chemically noticeable to you. She doesn't know. Her hormonal system made the decision without asking her. Now I'll tell you about my personal experience. When I'm talking to someone I find attractive, my hand goes to my neck. I play with my glasses. I toss my hair back. I had no idea I was doing that until I started researching the topic. Then, in the middle of a conversation with a guy in a cafe, I made myself do it. I even laughed out loud, which confused him and ruined the mood. But that's another story. The key is repetition. If she touches or shows her neck once, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Twice it could be a coincidence. 3 or more times during a single conversation. That's no coincidence. Your body is sending a warning signal. But now it gets even more interesting. And that leads directly to the second body part that men often neglect, the arms. More precisely, the inner arms. I know this sounds strange, but listen to me. Because the science behind it is truly fascinating. If a woman is attracted to you, she will subtly begin to expose her inner arms during conversation. She might rest her neck on your hand while her arm is raised. She might gesture with her palms facing her arms visible. Perhaps she places her hands on the table and tilts her head, slightly upwards instead of downwards. These are micro movements that occur unconsciously, and they are of enormous importance. The inner arm is another point of impulse. Fine point visible traces, high sensitivity. In body language research, showing the inside of the arm is considered a sign of vulnerability. When someone shows their inner arm, they are operating on an instinctive level and revealing an unprotected, vulnerable part of their personality. It is the opposite of what one does when defending oneself. Think about it. What do people do when they feel threatened or uncomfortable? They cross their arms. They clench their fists. They turn their arms inwards to protect their soft side. Everything closes up. But when attraction is involved, the opposite happens. Everything opens up. A study from the University of Manchester found that women in the early stages of romantic attraction hugged more openly and showed their arms more often than women in neutral social interactions. The researchers found that this behavior increased the more present the attractive stimulus was. This means that the longer a woman is with someone she is interested in, the more she shows her arms. And there's also a chemical component involved. The inside of the arm, much like the neck, is an important area for the release of natural scents. Perfume makers have known this for centuries. Therefore, the classic advice is to apply perfume to the arms and neck. In these areas, body heat meets the thin skin, allowing the fragrance to develop best. So, when a woman unconsciously turns her arms towards you, her body is doing exactly what applying perfume would consciously signal to her. The exception is that she doesn't do it intentionally. Her nervous system controls the whole thing. I'll give you a real-life example that a friend told me about, and it illustrates this perfectly. She had a first date with a man at a wine bar. The conversation had been okay. Nothing special, she said, but she had felt very attracted to him. Only later, when she saw a photo he had taken of them at the table, did she notice that her arms were stretched out on the table facing him? She said she saw the photo and thought, "Oh my God, I look like I was about to receive communion." Her body had been completely overwhelmed by the attraction even before her mind had decided whether she wanted a second boyfriend. Spoiler alert, she had 4 more. If her arm already surprised you, the third body part will really knock you for 6, because it's the most obvious sign of all. And yet almost every man I've spoken to completely misinterprets it. Her arms, and no, I don't mean what you're thinking. It's not about her clothes or whether she's wearing pants. It's about her posture, her movement, and the direction she takes. 3 things your legs are constantly telling you, whether you want them to or not. Let's start with direction, because that's the most reliable signal. FBI behavioral analyst Joe Navarro, who spent 25 years analyzing body language for criminal investigations, has repeatedly emphasized that feet and legs are the most honest part of the human body. While we learn to control our facial expressions and gestures, almost no one pays attention to what our legs are doing. This makes legs the body's biggest liars. If a woman stumbles, her feet and legs inevitably point in your direction. Even if she's sitting in a group, even if she only turns slightly to speak to someone, pay attention to her foot position. If her feet are pointing in your direction, her subconscious has already made a decision about you, a positive one. But there's an even more telling behavior, crossing her legs. If a woman crosses her legs while sitting and her thigh is facing you, that's a strong positive sign. She is literally turning towards you. If, on the other hand, she crosses her feet and points her top leg towards you, that's a sign of distance. She's creating both physical and psychological distance. Then there's the so-called recovery effect. When a woman feels attracted to someone, her nervous system is activated. Adrenaline and dopamine are released. One of the most common physical signs of this internal chemical surge is subtle leg movement. She taps her feet, steps back, shifts her weight from one leg to the other. If she appears somewhat rested from the chest down, it's not boredom. Her body vibrates at a frequency triggered by your presence. One particularly clear sign, well documented in anthropological literature, is relaxed and rested feet. Dr. Monica Moore, a psychologist who observed flirtatious behavior in social situations for over 2,000 hours, included this among the nonverbal signs of female politeness. When a woman rests and puts her feet up during a conversation with a man she's attracted to, it's a conscious and often unconscious gesture to draw attention to her lower body. It's a movement that says, without a word, "Look at me." And I want to say that quite frankly. Every woman reading this has asked herself every day whether she's done it. The answer is yes, you have. We've all done it. Now to the 4th and final part of the body, the one I told you about at the beginning, the one you will never see. And frankly, it is the most powerful of the 4, because it holds the greatest vulnerability, the greatest unconscious openness, and the most direct access to your true feelings. The torso, the front of the body, the abdomen, the neck, the center of your physical form. And before you get lost in thought, this is about orientation and openness, and the science behind it is truly fascinating. Here's what I mean. When a woman feels safe, attracted and interested, she turns her entire upper body towards you, not straight on, not sideways, not with her shoulder acting as a barrier between you, but head on, with her stomach and neck facing you directly. And that's far more important than you think. The torso contains all the vital organs, the heart, the pupils, the stomach, the abdominal cavity. From a survival perspective, showing someone the front of your body is one of the most vulnerable actions a person can take. That's why soldiers wear their body armor on the front, not the back. That's why every self-defense course teaches you to protect your torso. The front of the body is the area where life is most at risk. When a woman turns her entire upper body towards you during a conversation, she is doing something profoundly significant on a biological level. She is opening up the most sensitive area of her body to you. Without words, without intention, even unconsciously, she is signaling to you that her nervous system perceives you as safe, desirable, and brave enough to open up to you. Research from Princeton University's Laboratory for Social Neuroscience found that frontal posture is one of the strongest nonverbal indicators of interpersonal interest. Participants who felt attracted to their conversation, partners displayed a frontal posture within the first 3 minutes of the interaction. Those who did not feel attracted to their conversation, partners maintained a sideways or tilted posture throughout. And this is where it gets really interesting. If a woman is attracted to you and feels comfortable, she won't just turn towards you, but will usually reach for her upper body. She might adjust her shirt, gently touch her stomach, place her hand on her breast, and lean forward so that her upper body is closer to yours. Behavioral scientists call this ventral body presentation, where the front of the body is displayed as a sign of self-confidence and attractiveness. A few years ago, I had an experience that finally made this clear to me. I was at a friend's birthday party, sitting in a circle with other guests, and next to me stood a man whom I found incredibly attractive. I didn't say much to him directly, but someone took a group photo of the candidate. And when I looked at it later, everyone was sitting in a circle at a specific angle to each other, except for me. I was staring at him like a satellite dish. My entire upper body was straight, facing him. Meanwhile, my mouth was half open. He was talking to someone else entirely. My body had taken sides, and my brain wasn't even involved in the discussion. That's the power of body language. He throws everything into disarray. Context, social norms, or her supposed message don't interest him. Her center of gravity betrays the truth, even if she just wants to have fun. Let's connect these 4 signs, because they don't stand alone. When a woman is truly attracted to someone, these behaviors usually occur frequently. She not only exposes her neck, but also opens her arms, stretches out her legs, and turns her entire upper body towards you. The more of these signals you perceive simultaneously, the stronger the attraction. Dr. Monica Moore's research showed that women who sent out 4 or more nonverbal signals within a short period were approached by men almost 4 times more, often than women who sent fewer signals. Crucially, however, the women who most successfully attracted attention didn't do anything spectacular. They didn't shout across the room or make grand gestures. They did exactly what I've already described: small, subtle, almost invisible changes in their bodies that most people dismiss as meaningless posturing. But it is not meaningless. It never was. Every touch of the neck, every flash of the inner arm, every movement of the legs, every square of the torso is part of a biological symphony that has been playing for hundreds of thousands of years. The music hasn't changed. Only our ability to hear them failed. And now you can hear them again. You know the 4 parts. You know what to look for. You understand the connections. The next time you're talking to a woman and you see her turn her head, extend her arm, stretch her legs towards you, and turn completely towards you, then you'll know something she might not yet know about herself. She's interested. The question now is, what will you do? And this very question raises a problem I need to address, because knowing that she's attracted to you is only half the story. The other half? Knowing when she's ready for you to make the first move. More precisely, the moment she wants to be kissed by you. Because here's a fact that breaks my heart. Most men wait too long. They see the signs, they feel the energy, but they walk away. And the moment they finally turn away, the window closes and the magic fades. That's exactly why I made this next video. It's called, She Doesn't Say Kiss Me, but Her Body Already Has 6 Signs. And he picks up exactly where the video leaves off. If the 4 body parts I showed suggest that she's attracted to him, then the 6 signs in the video suggest that she's ready. Right now, at this very moment. And the loss of these signals is the main reason why men distance themselves from the connections they once had. It's on your screen now. Click. Because the worst thing you can do with everything you've learned today is to acknowledge the attraction and then do absolutely nothing with it. This video will help you avoid this mistake. Watch it. See you there.